All right, so what up, YouTube? Well, I wanted to do a 100-mile review, but I was having so much fun, I just kept going on this thing, and now I'm right at 170 miles on the Vitilan V3. And I'm telling you, I'm liking it more, I think, than the first day I rode it. Um, awesome. Just so much fun. Getting used to the pedal assist and when it kicks in. Um, and when it doesn't kick in, getting that throttle pedal assist combination to make it the most comfortable ride, and me, the least exertive, I guess you can say, kind of ride. But I do get a workout, but when I don't want to pedal and work out anymore, I don't. And for what I do around here, I just got back from a 6.5 mile round trip ride to the grocery store um, here in North Carolina, hilly. So up and down hills all the way there and back, and just a blast. Putting on the pedal assist, taking it down to 0, putting it up to 5, doing my 35 miles an hour. Downhill straightaways, just so much fun. And so, yeah, everything's working out good. Tires are holding up great. I haven't checked the pressure. I was going to do that before I did the review. Oh, well, darn it. I'll throw something maybe in the comments on how it's holding tire pressure. But, these things come low, so you got to start off by, I think it's 35 they want in there, 35 to 37, 40, something like that. So make sure you do that when you first get them. But I had a little bit of squeaking on the brakes. That seems to have gone away. My wife had it too. I guess it's just it was just getting seated. Those brakes were getting seated, the brake pads on the rotor, and so I had a little bit of squeaking on mine. She had quite a bit on hers, but all that is starting to go away. So be patient on that. I know you hate it, and it's kind of embarrassing the first few miles you put on them. So give it a little time, but there are some, the customer service will shoot you some videos if you just want to do some adjustments. I did a little bit of the wire adjustment on her bike, and it seemed to help a little bit. It's strange, when I was on her bike, when I'm on it, I never got a squeak. She weighs quite a bit less than me, and she was getting a squeak. So it's kind of weird that might have something to do with it. Just the weight. But anyway, couple of must-haves. Of course, I love this bike. I couldn't have done I put a ton. If you're on Facebook, I put some pictures on my trip just now. Had those saddlebags fully extended. Got a bag of apples, eggs, dozen eggs. I got a bag of apples, like I said, lettuce, spinach, a head of lettuce too, by the way, some sausage, some hamburger meat, loaf of bread, all fit in here just perfect. And still had my water bottle back there. And yeah, so a lot of fun, and people kind of staring at you a little bit. But man, it was just a nice, invigorating ride for the morning. Perfect weather here, about 65 degrees. So that was just a fun trip. Got my bike chain. I use that when I pulled up in there, and did my short stint today. But back to the mile review. This thing, no failing yet. Let's turn it on here. Of course, it's just a turn on the key and then a real quick hold down, and we'll check out the mileage here. I think I'm right at 169. There's the trip. How do you get rid of this? I think you hold down these two buttons. Yep, that cleared my trip odometer. See that? So the I and the minus, and that clears your trip odometer, but it doesn't clear your odometer, which I've got right at 170 miles on it. This seems very accurate. I haven't had a car track beside me to check the speed, and look at that too. After I did a lot of throttle, still got my 5 bars there on my battery. It was fully charged when I took off today, so working good, working good. This thing's great. I know I promised a video to get into those details of, you know, you can set your magnets and do all that stuff. The only thing I really changed was now I go down to PAS 0, and I think the factory might have put it like that, but it always starts off in 1. So I think the factory setting is 0 to 5, but I like putting it in 0. I want to think that conserves a little bit of energy when you absolutely are going downhill and don't need to have any type of pedal assist. So talk about the light for a minute. When I first got this, of course, I'm anxious. I get it put together and fully charged, and it's nighttime. So I want to take it out. I had my wife's bike. Mine hadn't came yet. So I took it out, and it's kind of, this light is kind of strange. I don't think it's an LED. It's just a regular bulb-like light. And it looked like it was spreading a light out on the road that was kind of off-center, okay? And if you put it right up against the wall, it's kind of a little off-center. It was bothering me. So then my bike came, and I sent over something to Vitilan and asked them, hey, is this light, do I take this light out? How do I take it out? How do I adjust the light bulb inside? And they came back and said, no, how you have it is normal. And then I got my bike, and it was the exact same setup. So what I found is you have to play with this up and down a little bit to get that to splash down the road the way Vitilan wants it to be. I guess maybe not so much in people's eyes, but still covering the road when you're coming on to head-on traffic as far as that light being in someone's eyes. I haven't got anybody flipping a light back on me. I took a nice little 8-mile stint the other night, fully at night with the light on. And I noticed that I had adjusted this almost just perfect. So there was a nice even spread of light, a nice spectrum across the road. Is that the right word for that? I don't know. But a very nice spread, and it lit up the road just fine, and just loved it. Night rides on this is wonderful, especially at this time of year where it's starting to get warm and you get really nice nights. So you want to be able to ride. And then you got don't forget the brake lights and the turn signals back here. I got to move this up a little bit. I think that's covering my stuff a little bit. Ooh, that's dirty. Tried to clean it up just a little bit for the video. But yeah, I got to move this bike. And I got some room to move this up too. So I think I am going to scoot that forward a little bit to let those rear turn signals and brake lights be seen better at night. Looks like my water bottle's covering it up there. So we'll work on that. But yeah, I did a video on my accessories. This thing is awesome. So cheap, phone holder. And you know, I got my helmet. I mean, is it nerdy to have a helmet? I don't know, but I ride one. Especially I've had this thing up to 37, guys. So a little bit dangerous. I got that, and I definitely wear a motorcycle helmet. Just safe, you know. So I like my helmet. What else? That, yeah, not a whole lot of accessories on here, but I don't want to mess with all the, it just looks so clean right now to not put a lot of junk on here as far as accessories goes, but I think I got the basics and what you absolutely want. So, the gears, I like them. Again, it could probably go up to like 12 here, because once you hit pedal assist 3, you're just pedaling for probably no reason. I think it went right when it gets up around, you're going 15 miles an hour. It's hard for your legs to keep up. I mean, you could pedal. I'm not sure if it's helping out anything. I'm starting to think that what drains your battery is when you're going up a hill or something, you're in a pedal assist mode, and if you can't feel resistance on your legs or on your pedals, you're probably not helping much in pedal assist. So any type of resistance. So I stay in 2 a lot and just take a nice casual roll. There's a way to set this so it won't go over a certain speed That might be pretty good to do too, especially on the greenways. If you're in pedal assist 2 is where I usually stay at on the greenways, and it just seems safer going around blind spots, things like that. People all over those greenways walking dogs and whatnot. I definitely use my horn on the greenways. I don't know if people, it's just fun to do. I don't know if people like that or they don't like that, but I've went by somebody one time and I didn't say anything, and she almost got in my path when I went around her. So I suggest using the horn. I guess it depends on how you use your horn. If it's obnoxious, if you do, that might be obnoxious, or just a simple Larry David. Couple of beeps there. Yeah, he had an episode on that on his show about beeping the horn and rudeness of the horn. But anyway, just a couple of short bursts there. What else? What else? Yeah, so back to the gears. I do like these though, and I do use them. I go down when I come to a stop. Sometimes I get down to that 2 or 3 and get ready to cross the street using that to kick start this thing a little bit. But really, this took a little bit on my throttle. It seemed to take a little bit of a warm up. I mean, for the first probably 10 miles, I didn't feel like it when I gave it the throttle, especially at the beginning of the ride when I was not even moving. It didn't feel like it kicked in fast like my wife's did, but that took some time, and now it's like the throttle's right there all the time, every time I hit it. So I don't know if the motor was just getting seated or what was going on there, but I was kind of nervous about that. But if that happens to you, if you don't feel like you got full power right away on the initial takeoff, I guess give it just a little, about 10 miles, and it started working fine, and it's never failed me as far as having that power right when I want it, especially when you want to cross the street. But I always get ready and have my pedal up about that high right there, and apply some pressure on that 2, 3, 4, whatever. Depends on how much of a hill you're on the stop to get ready to cross the street in traffic, especially. This seat must have. Don't buy one without it. I know it's an extra 69 bucks, but look at it this way. Again, there's no tax on these, at least not in my state right now as I'm making this video. They said sometime in June there might be some tax that starts coming on these things, but you buy that electric, and people have argued with me that but electric does charge tax where the Vitilan doesn't on everything I have seen. If you got proof, throw it in here on the video, but I haven't seen any proof that people could say they don't charge tax where Vitilan didn't charge tax, at least when I bought R2. So get that seat, and that's just like paying tax, I guess. What else? I think that's about it, guys. Throw some comments down there. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you're still out looking for one, definitely grab one. I'll put a link in here on how to get the Vitilan 3 right from this video. And that's about it for now. We'll check in another 100 or so miles and tell you any pluses or minuses. I can't think of any minuses, to be quite honest. It's just a great bike. I guess one minus thing here, I did have to center this. It had moved over a little bit, so I had to center my fender a little bit. Yeah, that was tough. Tough finding a minus on this thing, but or a con. But anyway, a lot of pros. Go out and get one. A lot of fun. And that's it for now. Later, YouTube.